Let's move on. Boxing, and I'm delighted to say Niall Kennedy is with us to talk to us about his shot at the undefeated Croatian Alen Babic. Good morning to you. How are you getting on?
Morning, how are you?
Yeah, good. This is one of those things that you've been waiting for a long period of time, and finally the news comes through. When exactly did you hear that this fight was going to get made?
It was strange. We were in training for a separate fight. We were training and hopefully fighting October the 3rd in Vegas, and that fight fell through with the fact that we couldn't get into America. So this fight happened. And then Pascal has good connections with Frank Smith and Eddie Hearn in England, and they sent them a message and said we were ready. So they came back with Alen Babic then a couple of weeks later. So
Alen Babic is 4-0, and all his fights have finished within 2 rounds. He's clearly a heavyweight that they're trying to bring along as one of the ones that they think could get catapulted into that tier of fighters who, you know, is just under the tier of the superstar heavyweight. So, in many respects, they want him to win this fight.
oh yeah, I'm not a fool. I'm not being brought over to win, and it's a fight that he's heavy favourite for, but I don't know why really. He's only had 4 fights. He hasn't been tested against any heavyweight. And so when we got offered it, we jumped at it. We thought it was a fantastic opportunity. It's a fantastic opportunity for me to showcase what I can do on television and over this side of the water as well. Like, I fought mainly in America, so this is nice to be at home nearly.
How much do you know about him?
Same as what you do, I suppose. I've seen a couple of his performances. He's explosive. He's explosive. He's a loudmouth as well now, and I don't get into that, but he likes talking, and I think he's a promoter's dream. So that's why he's doing so well. Like, his savage persona, what he wants to class himself as, but he's doing, like, you couldn't argue with what he's done so far, but he's doing it against small men. Like, that Shondell Winters was a cruiserweight, like, and I'm not a massive heavyweight, but I'm a heavyweight. I'm going to be 6'3" or 4, and well, no, I am 6'4", but I'm going to be a 16 stone 2 on the rope or on the scales. So he hasn't dealt with that. There's, like, he's a lot more questions to answer than I will. Like, I believe I've answered all the questions he posed, and I've sparred and boxed massive men, and the box is as aggressive as him. Like Sean Turner, years ago, we would have sparred lots of rounds and would have had a very similar style to this Alen Babic. Now, probably not as quick and maybe fit as Alen Babic, but would definitely carry more power. So he doesn't have the surprise thing that frighten everyone, to me. And like, as a heavyweight, you have to expect that. And he's very raw, very wild. Yeah, it's a good fight for me, I think.
And look, you know, I know no one ever thinks beyond the next fight, but what would a victory in this fight and the opportunity to showcase your talents on the matchroom circuit and on Sky and all that kind of stuff, what would that actually do for you and for your career at this point?
For my career, it'd be massive, and that's why we jumped at it. Like, I lost, as well, you know, I lost, like, my last fight was a loss last year, 14 months ago nearly now, and I have to get back big, and I have to win. Look, we'd have probably liked a fight to get going, get confidence up, but this came, and it was far too big an opportunity. A win here would sort of derail the loss, will put me in a higher place, put me in a better bracket really going forward. So, yeah, it was way too important to turn over, and things happen for a reason. I believe that this is one of those things that's happened for that reason. Like, I think he's ideal for me, to be honest with you. I'm not going to have to send out a search team looking for him. He's going to be in front of me. I think it'll be exciting, it'll be fun, and I'm really happy with the fight.
The fight's like 11 days away at this stage. How close to being ready for a fight were you when the fight was made, and where are you in that process now in terms of fight camp?
Yeah, today is probably my last sparring day, I think. So yeah, our work is done. Yeah, I think they hope that the short notice and they play games. Mere Matchroom are class act. They play games with you. They in theory give you the fight, and in theory have everything, but they don't confirm anything for about, they give about 2 weeks, 3 weeks notice to try and catch you on the hop. But we've been training. We were training, like I said, for that fight on October the 3rd in Vegas, and it fell through. So we're going to be ready. I'll have no excuses if I can get into doing healthy, which I am at the moment. This fight is perfect for me. I think it's made in the gods. To be honest with you, it's one of these ones where I have an opportunity to really showcase what I can do, and on live television as well, so it's fantastic.
Niall, you mentioned there how there's a game to be played quite often in the sport where they might not give you the fight for a few weeks to catch you on the hop. How wary do you have to be of people who play games like that in the sport?
Oh, boxing is mad. There's lots of games. It's entertaining, to be fair. But look, Pascal and me, I know, well, Pascal's probably less of an agent than me, but we were well aware. It seemed like a little bit of a game. The thing with Vegas was that we'd fairly good notice for the Vegas fight, you see. So, and like that, things in theory were signed off on, but the rest of it wasn't. And we started playing games. So we've been back flat out training, not for this fight, but for another fight that we thought was happening, and then this fight. We never stopped camp. We kept going. We were going strong at that point anyway. So I'd say they believe that I've probably only had 3 weeks. I've probably had 5 to 6 weeks training. So I'm in good shape. I really, like I said to you, if I get into that ring healthy, I believe I ask far more questions of this man than anyone has, and he'll have to answer them. I want to give him a tough night.
We can hear that you're going about your day-to-day life. We know you're a guard when you're not an elite athlete. What's that like for you at the moment, juggling all of that kind of stuff, and at the same time, in the back of your mind, you're like, I'm preparing for the biggest fight of my life?
Yeah, the biggest fight of my life is making sure that little man on the couch is all right. So, he's a little boss on him, so I'm trying to mind him. He's not in play school. No, look, it's grand. These things are part and parcel of life. The same as you getting up this morning. Everyone has to. I know what's in front of me. I know the plan and all it's planned out. And this probably winning this fight makes things maybe a little bit easier. Pushes me onto a bigger fight, and probably things happen for a reason. And losing that last fight, maybe there was a reason behind it. So things happen for a reason. I'm happy. Little man is happy. My wife was happy. We're healthy. Yeah, no, and this, I think the way the world is now, we should just make the most of what things are and appreciate everything around us. It's crazy. It's a little bit of juggling. It's enjoyable.
You've obviously got a fantastic sense of perspective, and you always get that whenever we chat to you on the show, Niall. Like, does that actually help when you get into the ring, having the boxing part of your life crystallize and having it in the right order in terms of the ranking of importance of things in your life?
Well, don't get me wrong, boxing is massively important to me. For my own mental health, my own dreams, my own ambitions, it's massively important. But in the bigger scale of things, and with COVID and all this stuff, we've seen how devastating life really can be. So I'm following a dream, and my family are allowing me doing it. My son is healthy, which is the most important thing in the world to me. So, yeah, look, perspective is one. I'll get into that ring and I'll have an opportunity to make my little boy proud. That's more important to me than anything else. Money, all that stuff, that comes very far down the line in relation to just making him proud and hopefully happy and hopefully moving on to another level, because I'm 36. I know you are looking at me thinking that you don't look that, Niall, but I am 36, and it is go time. It has to happen now, or it's not going to happen. So.
You don't have very many miles on the clock for a fighter, though. You know, certainly the way that the heavyweight division is at the moment, fighters are fighting much later than they used to. So there's plenty. I mean, I understand now is the time. There is time, especially if you win this fight, though, to plot a course for the next couple of years that could lead you to who knows where in the heavyweight game. It's been very interesting to see how fighters have kind of begun to peak in their late 30s.
Yeah, I'll take your address and send you a present for that job. There's no. I know there is not, like, there was never a panic button with me. I feel very, very fit, to be honest with you. I'd probably be a little bit lighter for this fight because I've been healthy, to be honest with you. I've been able to get out running, I've been able to get out training. The back injury had hampered me for a while. It hasn't now. I'm flying. Like I said to you, if I can get into the ring healthy, this man is in the world of trouble, I believe. I think they probably took this fight. I think I wouldn't have got offered this fight if I'd have won my last fight. So the fact is they're looking at me maybe as a shot fight or an easy fight with a good record for this man. So
yeah,
I plan on showing him not that. Eddie has a massive amount of heavyweights now, so he's after signing this Chinese fella. There's loads of people there that look, you could get lots of big fights out of him, and this Alen Babic, in my opinion, is my way of fast tracking myself into that, and it'd be great. Look, I love boxing in America, I love boxing in Boston, and it's a massive upheaval for the family, and it's a massive upheaval just for people to even watch it. So it's a great chance for me to get myself on live television in England in a fight that I really, really believe I'll win. And not only will I win, I'll have to look good doing it because he's an aggressive little man. And that's a bit rude, but he's not a little man, but he's an aggressive fella, and he's going to be there in front of me. So if I can't hit him really and truly, I'm not saying it's game over time, but like he's there in front of me. I should be hitting him. So.
Yeah, well, we wish you all the best with it. One last thing I did want to ask you about was last time we had you on, you were talking about the impact of your day job and kind of just seeing the impact that COVID was having on your community. You work as a community guard. How has that last couple of months been as things kind of eased down a little bit and everybody got comfortable, and then they're starting to ratchet back up with the numbers?
Yeah, it's strange times. That really is strange times. I think people are probably coming back into that initial stage of fear and panic again a little bit. Numbers are coming up, and and the government are coming out with guidelines, and we're sort of unsure of guidelines that are coming out. And it's hard. People are struggling with it a tiny bit, and anyone that's in that vulnerable bracket is probably in a little bit of fear. But look, it's hard. Just my only message if anyone's watching, your local guard station will help if they can in any way at all. Don't be afraid to ring, or don't be afraid to ask for help. And look, we have to try. I think this COVID thing is something we're going to have to try and live with now, unfortunately. So. No,
it definitely seems that way for the foreseeable future. Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck over the next 11 days in terms of the training and getting there healthy. We hope your little man is good to go back to play school sooner rather than later, and you get to rest that you need in the build-up to this fight, and go knock him dead,
Cheers, thanks a million for that, lads. I appreciate the talk.